let me invite you, if you're able, to please stand for the singing of Lord Who throughout these 40 days. Thank you, friends. Please be seated. There are a lot of kinds of fires in this world. There are accidental fires, there are arson fires, lightning fires, forest fires, house fires, campfires, outward fires, and fires that burn within. For me, today's liturgy, as I said, is the most important perhaps of all of our annual traditions, although I would say that Christmas Eve is pretty close. Not all churches have Ash Wednesday, you know, and I think that's too bad. It's too bad because it's a good thing to be reminded of our mortality, that we are not at the center of this world. There's something important about knowing that we are dust, and to dust we shall return. I've talked with a number of you lately, and I understand what you've been going through. I know that we've experienced a fair amount of loss in our congregation, and even yesterday we lost Sue Marks, who's joined Bob now in her passing. I can't tell you how many people have come up to me and said, "Jim, did you know Bob and Sue?" And I said, "I didn't." And they said, "You are a lesser man. Had you only known them, your life would have been filled with joy." They were kind, giving, committed, central people to our church. And I have heard about them for some time, and I'm quite sorry that I didn't know them. But they are not the only ones that have passed in the last few months. And, these kinds of losses can put us in something of a reflective mood. That kind of mood that says to you, boy, I better think about my life. I better get my affairs in order. I better make hay while the sun shines, because I'm not going to live forever. These kinds of things change us. And that's not such a bad thing. The imposition of ashes says, as I said, to whom we belong, and that we are mortal. This is a deeply moving part of our annual church calendar. It takes faith to say those words. You are dust, and to dust you shall return. I can't tell you, as minister, how many times I have stood right here in many churches as people formed a line and came down one at a time. And I have seen way too many people who have come with tears just flowing down their cheeks because I know that they were just diagnosed with breast cancer. I know others have lost their mothers days before. And the words, you are dust, and to dust you shall return, take on an importance and a weight more than what we might expect. I have people come down the line who have advanced dementia. And I know that their lives are coming to an end, and of course, other kinds of conditions that you can well imagine for yourself. It is a profound, holy place to stand and utter those words, you are dust, and to dust you shall return, because everything within me wants to say to me and to you, let's make hay while the sun shines. Let's embrace that gift of life that God has given us, because it's not always going to be there. And I want us so much to make the fullest with what we have. It's not easy to be in that line, perhaps with tears welling up inside and knowing the story that you carry with you and what it means to come and present yourself and receive the cross and know that this is a sign of both your mortality and yet your faith that will sustain you even as the darkness in life grows. Did I mention that you are God's child? You are God's child. And God has His eyes upon you. God wants the best for you. God wants you to wear this sign as a message that there is a fire that grows within you, that burns within your soul, that you get it, and that you get that this is a journey to be lived. The question before us today is very simple. Which fire will we choose? Will we choose the fires of intentional faith the kind of faith that will transform and change your life? If you choose that, guess what? I have great news for you today. That we're about to begin another journey of 40 days, and that you are invited to come walk with me. Let us journey and search together. It's not the only choice you have. You can choose to go ahead and live those lives and have the fires of what I would say are the accidental fires of cultural values. But that's not the one I'm going to choose. I'll tell you plainly. I'm going to embrace that intentional faith and walk all 40 days. I hope that you'll let that fire burn within you and let it burn away all that is fleeting and insignificant. Let it make ashes of those attitudes and actions that do not serve you well. And you know which ones those are. I know you do because I know the ones inside me. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to tell myself. And I'm going to be working with that myself very intentionally. Don't you tell anybody either. You just work on it. And let the sign of the cross lead you to where God is calling you this year, to the life that God has prepared for you and the fire that will light your way. The fire that burns within. I hope you'll take that journey with me this year.